The VLOOKUP that we looked at earlier is known as a one-dimensional lookup. What if I want to do a two-dimensional lookup? That is, I want to look up, for example, a product A and a date, the 1st of the 1st, 2017, and I want the volume that intersects between A and the 1st of the 1st, 2017, which is 44. What we can use in this case is a combination between the index function and the match function. The index function purely looks at a range and returns a value that intersects a specified row and a specified column. So let's go equals index. It's here that we tell it where the range is, what row and what column. Well, the range in this case is A2 to D17, this entire range here. And I'm going to lock this reference in, this range reference, by pressing the function key F4. So that's my range, A2 to D17, and then I press comma. Now I tell it what row and what column in that range, the intersection of those two, it'll tell me the value that intersects the row and column. But I don't know what row. I can't just type 1 because it might be in row 2 or it might be in row 3. What I need to do is find out what row in this table this date falls in. So we're going to use a match function to determine the row number. So I press M and I double click match. The match function wants to look up a value. Well, I want to look up this date in F2. And let's lock in just the F. So I press the function key F4 1, 2, 3 times. And then I press comma. So it's going to look up the value in F2. And now I need to find that value in the range A2 to A17. And I'll lock that range in as well by pressing F4. So the match function, that's all there is to it. We can close bracket, is simply going to look at what's in F2, the 1st of the 1st, 2017, find it in A2 to A17, and it'll return a row number. So now I press comma and I tell it what column number contains what I want. Well, I'm after the volume, as you can see here, and the volume is in the 3rd column. So I simply type a 3 and close bracket, enter. And here is the volume, 44, for product A and for the 1st of the 1st, 2017. And I fill that down. And it works out the other product A's on different dates. Let's try it with sales. Again, I know that what I want is in the 1, 2, 3, 4th column. So I want what's in the 4th column, but I don't know what row these dates will be in. So I use an index function to give me the intersection of a row and a column, but I use the match function to work out the row number. So equals I, and we double click index. We tell it the range is A2 to D17 and press the F4 key to lock that in. We press comma. We can't tell it the row number because we don't know that, but we can use the match function. So I press M and I double click match. I tell it to look at this value in F10. I'm also going to lock in the F by pressing the F4 key 3 times. I'll press comma and I want it to find that value in F10 in A2 to A17, and I'll lock that in entirely by pressing the F4 key. I'll do a close bracket to complete the match function. I'll do a comma and now I need to tell it the column number. The sales are in the 4th column, so I'm going to type 4 and press enter. And immediately I'm given product A, the 1st of the 1st, 2017, has a sales figure of 528, and I can fill that down. So there we have an index function, gives you a value that intersects in a range between a certain row and a certain column. If we don't know the row, we can use the match function to match a value to a range and find out what row it's in.